Hello and welcome to Boomer Bust NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Unfortunately, there's no fantasy football, so we're just going to talk NFL this week. It's now playoff season, and we're coming really into the thick of it and seeing who's going to be real Super Bowl contenders. As ever, I'm joined by my co-host, Shug. And Shug, we're looking ahead. You've got the jumper on, the Dolphins. They're in the playoffs, but they're up against the Bills. Talk to me here.
Yep, listen, delighted we scraped our way through the playoffs. Things looked a lot more promising a few weeks ago. On Sunday, they were down to the third choice quarterback, really struggling, really not playing well. Just had the other results had to go our way, but got in the playoffs. Now that's an achievement. I said at the start that would be a decent season if they got in the playoffs. So listen, I might not have been pretty towards the end. Might have been a season that promised a lot during the kind of midway part of it, but in the playoffs. But now playing against Buffalo, no chance, is there?
No.
Well, if they had Tua, if Tua was playing, they beat the Bills before this season. Could have happened again, but third choice Thompson in there, no chance, is there?
You don't like that guy, do you?
He's murder. He's murder.
But how many times have we sat here and we've just said, it's the Bills. It's the Bills. Like, we've just wrote teams off because they come up against the Bills. But the Dolphins have beat them.
Yeah, as I said, they beat them, but they beat them with Tua there. For me, we said that a few weeks ago when we were talking about Tua, another concussion, when we said if that finishes his season, that as much as that is the most important thing with his health, that writes off Dolphins' season, and I stand by that. They've done well to scrape their way into the playoffs, but the road ends now, I'm afraid. The Bills, who we've tipped from the start to win the thing, I'm going to stick with them. I think they've got that grit about them when it comes to playoff time. I think they've sort of developed across the season. I think they've got through those sticky sort of periods. So I think the Bills are going to steamroll over the Dolphins.
It's hard to disagree there, and I think when you look at your Dolphins, it's like there's two different types of Dolphins. With Tua, without Tua, and there's no in between. There's absolutely no in between there, and we've seen that when he went out with the first concussion. We had the discussion on here. That rhyme, that's quite good for me, actually.
Not bad.
We looked at the Dolphins at the start of the season as possible Super Bowl contenders. They've got all the weapons there who lived up, but not having that solid backup quarterback that can do the job that Tua can. And don't get me wrong, I don't think there is a backup quarterback that can do the job that he can, but anything that can come close to be similar to their style of play and bring these guys like Wada, it sounds like if Jalen Waddle and Yoda had a baby. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, guys that can unlock these players. The Dolphins can do something, but I've not got the stats in front of me, but it'd be interesting to see the games that they've won with Tua being out compared to the games that he's been in, and it's really unlucky that it's came at this point in the season, and Tua's out for the weekend. Another thing I wish that was out for the weekend was the shades that McDaniels wears. It look awful. He thinks it's fucking Miami Vice.
Generally, you hit the nail on the head. There's two different Dolphins. There's one where you think you're at SeaWorld watching the proper show while the Dolphins do trick, and there's another one as if you're at Blair Drummond just watching that seal and the guy with the ghetto blaster just chucking fish at him and getting him to do wee tricks.
He's sliding in and out the pool. He's not quite Shamu.
It's pouring rain. Great. Thanks for coming.
Instead of sitting with a poncho on in the splash zone, you're sitting absolutely soaking for the piss and rain.
The trainer's sitting smoking a fag.
Watching the dolphin blow out with its hole. Don't take that for anything it's not. So we're going with the Bills in this one.
I think so.
I think this is
safe bet.
Safe bet. So
I hope I'm wrong. Hope I'm saying Dolphins have pulled off a shock, but nah, you'd be better with me as you at quarterback to be fair than
I hope you're wrong, and the reason I hope you're wrong, it'd be a wee bit easier for the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Well, nah, the Bills are progressing all day long.
Yeah, so we're taking the Bills for that one. We can agree on that, right? Are you agreeing with me that the Giants are going to beat the Vikings?
This is one I'm really struggling to predict. You look at me.
You say the wrong thing.
I'm just chatting your doorstep. But I think the Vikings are capable of big performances.
Right, Tillicum's just shat my doorstep now.
No, they are. And as we've spoke about in the past, you know, with Jefferson and the likes, It's a tough one. I'll just say I hope the Giants win for you, but I think the Vikings might win that one.
Right, here, I'll try and sway you a wee bit here.
Right.
The Vikings are frauds. Right. The reason I say they're frauds, right? I seen a slide the other day. I should have this in front of me, but I don't. But at that stage in the season, we're just supporting our teams. So the Vikings have conceded more points than they've scored. They've scraped through on. You could say this about the Giants as well, obviously. One-score victories. The Giants deserve to be there. Brian Daboll is, for me, coach of the year. What he has unlocked in Daniel Jones and using Saquon Barkley the way he has, and he's been fortunate given the injury consistency, how consistently fit, Saquon Barkley has been. That's the reason we're in the playoffs. It's the Giants for me. We've got something going there. Kevin Tippett, though, has been absolutely frightening, and then you start to look like guys like Dexter Lawrence. It's going to be a hard day, but I think Adoree Jackson and Xavier McKinney are both fit for the game. So in terms of Jefferson, it's going to be a lot different for the last time we played. It came down to a kick against the Vikings the last time we played them, and I think it left a sour taste in the Giants' mouth. I fully believe, and maybe I'm being biased here, but I fully believe the Giants can get the job done.
It's probably the game I'm looking forward to most at the playoffs. And obviously I'm looking forward to watching the Dolphins, hope they win, but they've got to get pumped.
They're dead in the water.
The Vikings-Giants game is one I'm massively looking forward to, and do you know what? It's getting out of the habit. It's because we've just finished the Fantasy League, where I'm hoping the Vikings do well because I've got Kirk Cousins. I don't really care anymore either way, so I just hope for a good game. And okay, Giants will win.
Yeah. So we're going for the Giants in that one.
Yep.
Other games I'm looking around, right? I know I said the Vikings were frauds. The Ravens are frauds. They've been horrible this season. How are they in the playoffs?
They're mince them. The Bengals, let's just cut to the chase. Bengals will beat them. We changed to spare. They'll beat them.
Yeah, I like that. We changed to spare. The Bengals, remember at the start of the season, I think they went 0-3 their first 3 games, and we were like, what is going on here? Reminiscent to last season, they went 0-3 and went all the way to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, frightening. T. Higgins, again, has been good. Maybe not a good week 18, but consistently good with Tyler Boyd. And then you look at the start of the show there, Jamar Chase, ridiculously good. Bengals then become full-on Super Bowl contender.
Absolutely.
So the Ravens, looks like they'll be without Lamar Jackson again. Once again, we're at the stage with Lamar Jackson we were last season, again, where he's injured. He's missing the most crucial part of the season. Even this year, I don't think he's rushed as much.
No.
As opposed to last season, they tried to change the style. But
we were raving about him at the start of the season. But listen, you're right about the Bengals. They started off the season slow, and I think that was the same last season, wasn't it? They started
they started 0-3.
They just really caught fire as the season went on. So the same again in the Ravens. I think the Bengals will comfortably win that one. Like all of these games, anything can happen in playoffs. Anything can happen, but I'd be surprised if the Bengals lost that one. Yeah,
the Ravens, I've got no idea how they're there. God knows how they're there, but I'm looking around at the other games here. The Bucs, right? I don't know if you'll agree with me here. The Bucs against the Cowboys. I'm going for an upset here. I don't think many people will back the Bucs to beat the Cowboys. I think there's just something about Tom Brady and playoff season and week 17 where Brady and Mike Evans seem to come alive, and where has that combination been all season?
I've got the exact same thing written down here.
You do?
That the TB show I've got. I just think I don't know if it's just you've got a soft spot. You just think he's got one more big performance in it. Now I don't think the Bucs will win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're good enough for that. But I'm going to go on upset as well. I think Tom Brady will put in one more big playoff performance. Cowboys is not a team. They're not a team I slaughter. I like the Cowboys, and listen, I like Dak Prescott as well. But there's something about it. I just can see the Bucs winning it.
Yeah, even last week, the Cowboys up against Washington completely struggled.
They just seem a bit of a sloppy team at times. I don't know if I'm being unfair saying that, but there's a lot of games that they've scraped by, and it's just been very, very untidy.
Yeah.
Now a lot of folk might disagree with that. I do think they're a strong team, the Cowboys. I don't think there's any doubt in that, but just something about me tells there'll be late drama in this. and that Tom Brady's got to steal the show.
He's going to be part of it. Even you look at the supporting cast around Brady that haven't done it this season.
Yep.
And I look back to when the Bucs won the Super Bowl. Leonard Fournette came alive, playoff Lenny. It was all over it. He's not come alive this season yet. Yep. Maybe not as much touchdowns as people were expecting, especially in fantasy football. There's just something about the Bucs for me. Home field advantage as well. I'm going the Bucs on this one, and I really hope they do, just so we can get it right up, Martin.
Let's go Bucs.
Let's go Bucs. So we've went Shug. The Bills. Yep. Are you sure about this?
100%. I hope I'm wrong, but we're going we're going first of all Bills.
They'll be making a new conspiracy if the Dolphins win this one.
Yeah.
So we're going the Bills. We're going the Giants.
Yep,
You're not confident there?
I'm not 100%, but I'll give you it. But I think that one could go either way. But let's go Giants.
Yeah, and then Bengals,
aye.
Late drama. That's going to be the close one. Or the Bucs. The Bucs will be close.
The Bucs will be the close one. Again, it's mad to make these predictions because we could be absolutely miles off everyone.
I know.
It's so unpredictable in the playoffs, but
we'll put a graphic up so that we're down for a slagging.
Yeah, exactly. Incidentally, see with the Bucs, I can see it either being a Tom Brady late bit of drama to win, or I think the Cowboys will absolutely scud them.
It's going to be one or the other.
I can't see it going down to the wire and the Cowboys winning. I think it goes down to the wire and Tom Brady wins it for them.
Yeah.
But either that, I think the Cowboys absolutely scud them.
Yeah. I'd love to see the Cowboys go one and done straight out.
That'd be great.
The Cowboys to go one and done. We'll get the Eagles to get put out in the next round and the Giants to march on. Do you know something? My hot take at the start of the season, and I'll clip this up if they do, my hot take was that the Giants will win a playoff game.
Aye.
Yep, so watch this space. But
we'll see.
Before we jump into a wee break, obviously we're in the G4 podcast studio again. Facilities are fantastic, aren't they, Shug?
Oh, different class. It's good. Last couple of ones we've done online, it's not the same, is it?
It's not. If the G4 Claims podcast studio was a fantasy football player, they'd be picked in the first round. Put it that way. That's how good the facilities are. But anyone that doesn't play fantasy football won't give a jot what I've said. But before we go to a break, what we usually do, Shug, I have got a question for you. Right? Outside linebacker, I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter or socials, Justin Houston from the Ravens needed one sack to release a $500,000 bonus. He got the sack, but he never got the bonus. Do you know why?
If I answer that just now, because usually I start talking, you go, don't answer that now.
Go for it. Let me see what you've got.
I've got literally no idea.
Give me something stupid like a shat in the owner's kettle.
I was going to say, he's got a fine for something. He's racked up a fine. He's
nah.
He's nah. So, let's hear what our sponsors G4 Claims have got to say.
100% of your claim, G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim, G4 Claims.
I asked you before the break, outside linebacker Justin Houston from the Ravens, he needed one sack to release his bonus of $500,000.
Yep.
He got the sack, never got the bonus. You want to take another guess?
He got the sack, he didn't get the bonus. Why did he not get the bonus? I've got no idea.
You get no idea? Right, so bear in mind he's an outside linebacker.
Right.
Gets the sack. He then gets the $500,000 bonus, which makes up $1.5 million bonus for the season, his incentives. Does a somersault coming off the park, right? And the official statistics for the NFL ruled it as half a sack because one of the other linebackers came in at the same time and took him.
Oh, no way.
So we lost out in $500,000 because it was then declared half a sack. And he's went and done a somersault.
Half a sack. I can definitely sympathise with him.
Right, we'll cut to the chase and move on with this week's preview. It would be good to go to a break with Manscaped. Anyway, Shug, look here, producer Greg's team, the Chargers, are at the Jags, right? This has got good game written all over it, because for me, the Chargers have been... It took a while. They've sort of boiled under the surface when we thought they'd be much further on at the start of the season, and they've come alive. That offence is brilliant, and Justin Herbert is really starting to turn the screw now for me.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the Jags to beat them.
Yeah.
I think it'll be an exciting game. I like the Jags. I think they're an exciting team to watch.
Yeah.
I think Lawrence has really came alive later stages of the season. So I think that's going to be another tight one, but I'm going to, on the day, Jags are a very good team, and I'm going to say they'll just edge it.
Yeah, I'm jealous of both quarterbacks in this game. There's a lot of good hair in that game. A lot of good hair. Two high scoring teams. For me, it's the Chargers, man.
Yeah.
When I look at the defense as well, Bosa, they're just a solid team as well. Khalil Mack maybe sort of slid under the radar a wee bit this season as well. Keenan Allen has come back to life, came back for injury a wee bit soon, back out for a while. He's now back and he's playing well. I think he's a really good weapon for Herbert. He's the number one weapon there, aside from Austin Eckler at running back, who's been playing out his skin this season. Unlucky to miss out. In fact, it may be a wee bit of a spoiler here, but maybe to miss out in the boom or bust fantasy football MVP. So for me, I'm going Chargers. You're only siding because Zay Jones plays with the Jags and he carried you a wee bit.
I like Zay Jones as well, so, but again, could go either way.
Yeah, I'm disagreeing here, but I'm going for a great game. I'll go Chargers.
I'll stick with my Jags.
Yeah, so let's see. One more game to cover here. The Seahawks at the 49ers. Outside bet for me, 49ers for the Super Bowl. It just depends how much Brock Purdy can carry them.
Yeah, I don't fancy him to win the Super Bowl. I think they're in there with a shout. I think they'll win this game. I think the Seahawks have surprised us this season. I'm not going to write them off because we've said it all season. We said at the start they're not that great and they've proved us wrong. But I think the 49ers, I think CMC will put in. I think he kind of rested them last week. He didn't have as much action last week. They've obviously kept him for playoffs, and I think he's got a huge performance in him to help him see him through.
Yeah, so 49ers for me.
Yep.
Because watching the Seahawks against the Rams last week, I thought they were atrocious. That's where push came to shove, and it needed a field goal in overtime to just get them through.
Yeah.
Just get them through, and that they needed the Lions to beat the Packers, obviously. So for me, they've scraped through. I know we've sung their praises because we didn't think they would do much this year. Pete Carroll's done a great job with Geno Smith in there, and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf round about him. But for me, the 49ers are far too strong for them.
Yeah.
But there's going to be surprises.
Aye, absolutely. It's we're saying all these predictions, it's never as cut and dry that. There's so many games this season alone in the regular season where we've said they'll definitely do this or they'll definitely do that. It's not worked anywhere near that. So playoffs has ramped that up even more. I'm agreeing with you. I think 49ers far too strong, but I don't think there's any team we can completely write off.
No. In terms of the 49ers, they've just got weapons all over the field. They've got a fantastic coach in Kyle Shanahan. They're an outside bet. So on that subject, Shug, and you look at the teams that are in the playoffs now, for you're sticking with the Bills. If it's not the Bills, who's it going to be?
If it's not the Bills, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah?
Yep. Nah, wait. Nah, I'm going to go Chiefs. Chiefs.
I'm going to go Chiefs or 49ers.
Aye.
If it's not the Bills, I don't think it'll be the Bills. I think it'll be the Chiefs. But if it's not the Chiefs or the Bills, we're narrowing it down here. It's the 49ers.
It'll be one of them.
It'll be one of them. I will take one of these teams.
As you said, it still could be. There's still probably 6 teams out there that you think are more than capable of winning the Super Bowl. This is still wide open.
See, I like this.
Aye, it's totally different from European sport where we used to, where we watch maybe Champions League quarter final and you think that'll be between 3, maybe 4 teams, depending on how the draw falls. even then you've still got your solid favourites where you say that team's got a real grip at it. Here it's anybody's game, isn't it? It's wide open.
Excuse me, I've got a bit of flatulence.
You're right.
You're right, but on that subject as well, I read a thing the other day and it got me thinking, when they increase the teams in this wild card round, does it dilute the quality a wee bit? Because we've sat here and we've slagged off the Vikings, we've slagged off the Ravens saying they've got no place there. The Seahawks scraped their way in. You could maybe even say the same for the Jags as well, considering that it's not been the greatest season that they've had. They went on that unbelievable run of 5 wins in the bounce and got themselves there. Don't get me wrong, you need to win the games, you need to beat the teams that are in front of you to get there.
Yeah. I wouldn't say so. I think what it does is add that more excitement to the end of the season. You've got more teams playing. I mean, you look at the Dolphins last game, it was not a great game by any means, but you're looking at 3 games. I think it was the Steelers who were winning, but they needed the Dolphins to lose, and the Dolphins needed Patriots to lose to be back. So by increasing the teams, it puts a lot more teams are playing for something at the end of the season, which I think can only be a good thing. So I wouldn't say it dilutes the quality too much. I think you've still got your favourites. That's always going to be the case in the wild card round. Yeah. But I just think it gives a bit more an opportunity for teams to get in, for teams to play for something, and it keeps more people interested this stage of the season. Yeah.
So one more question before we wrap this up, right? Yep. Give me an underdog. Give me someone that's going to appear from nowhere. There's always one. Bengals last year. There's always one, man.
Yep. It's hard because you look through those teams and nobody's really appearing from nowhere. If I was going to go a real outsider, the Jags, that would be a real outsider for them to go far. I don't see them winning it, but if I was to go, because I don't really see the 49ers as a real outsider. I think they've got a solid chance. Out of the ones that are just outside that, I'm going to go the Jags.
Yeah. And I'm looking here, right? I did say one more question, right? Playoff bracket.
Yep.
What is your dream Super Bowl out of that? Personally, I prefer to watch the Chiefs than the Bills. So on that side, I'm going to go for a Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl would be unbelievable.
You're not wanting the Giants in there?
I think we'll win a playoff game, but if you look at...
Nah, I'd probably go... See, I kind of want to see the Bills in the final. I just think they've been so close to it in recent years. I'd want to see them in the Super Bowl this year, just for something different. The Chiefs, we've seen there and thereabouts. I'm going to... My dream scenario from there is the Bills, and I'd say the same, 49ers. I'd love to see them there.
Are we writing off the Eagles?
We've hardly even mentioned them, and they've had such a good season.
I hate them.
But we've got to put them in the bracket. As you said, we've hardly even touched them. But yeah, we shouldn't. I don't think we should be writing them off by any means.
If the 49ers beat the Seahawks, we're talking Eagles 49ers. That's another good game. That's 2 huge. Great offences. Great playoff football is just brilliant.
I think I'm looking at it. I'm guessing just now. I'm going Bills 49ers Super Bowl.
Bills 49ers.
Yep.
I think that'd make a good
That'd
Super
be great.
Bowl. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up at that, Shug. Yep. Thank you as ever to G4 for the use of their podcast studio, state-of-the-art facilities. If you've got an idea to start a podcast or you already have one and want to take it to the next level, get in touch with the guys here. The notatfolkclaim.com is in the description. You'll find all the details there, and they've also got a new website, so make sure to check that out as well. Shug, let's look forward to a good playoff weekend.
Absolutely. We can now stop stressing about fantasy football, stop checking the app, just sit and watch the game and enjoy
That's it. A couple of beers and we'll get the feet up. So thanks as ever, mate. Thanks as ever to everyone that's joined us. Please make sure to subscribe down below, somewhere down here, I think. And yeah, share, let everybody know. But thank you very much. Good night.